Your revolutionary product or service idea is not a leadership vision. When entrepreneurs talk about vision, they talk about the excellent product or service idea and why customers should buy it. This makes sense for a person starting a business alone or with a few like-minded co-founders because they are focused on the product or service. When they start to hire, they explain the same idea to the organization. But this is not a leadership vision. This approach to vision does not help the organization produce an excellent product. Leaders talk about the vision in the following way. They talk to the members of the organization about the hard work that each member contributes to make a great product or service. They then explain how this product or service creates value in the lives of the customers. Put another way, leadership vision explains the connection between the members of the group and their effort and a meaningful change in the world. So how do we do this? We replace the story of product with the story of vision. The story of vision explains the meaning of work, the reason for members of the group to come and do an excellent job, to have a worthwhile impact on the customer's life. The story of vision also creates accountability and a standard of excellence by explaining the connection between employees' level of effort and a meaningful, valuable product or service. Finally, the story of vision builds identity and community between members of the group to overcome the challenges of interpersonal work. There are 3 areas that entrepreneurs struggle with as they transform into leaders. First, telling the complete story of vision. Second, finding the right words and ideas. Third, telling the story often enough and in the right forms. Let's address each of these in turn. To tell a complete story of vision, we use the 5 factors. The 5 factors connect to one another to draw a straight line from each individual's role and tasks to a meaningful change caused by an excellent product. The story describes what the group can accomplish when everyone contributes with excellence. These 5 factors are in order. First, the change, or the physical way that the world is different because of the group's product. Second, the worth, or the reason that this change creates meaningful experiences for our customers as human beings. Third, the possibility, or the way that the group as a whole can achieve this meaningful change. Fourth, individual contributions, or the way that individual tasks fit into this group possibility. Fifth, our belief as leaders, or how we show that we are committed to making this change become real. All 5 factors are necessary for a story of vision. Entrepreneurs focus on the first 2, but leaders tell all 5. The seeing exercise, Writing the Story of Vision, allows you to assess and expand on the 5 factors in your organization and shows how all 5 connect together to make a complete story of vision. Entrepreneurs often feel like they come up with an idea for a product or service by themselves, but stories are only as useful as much as they are understood by the listener. To tell the story of vision, we have to find the words, expressions, and ideas that others understand. To do this, we listen for the meaning that others make so that we can express the story in ways that they understand. We do not come up with the words and ideas all by ourselves. We find these words in many different places. We find them in the world around us and in human experiences. We find them in our customers and the value of the worthwhile change. We find them in the organization's members and in their experiences working together to create an excellent product or service. And we find them in our own passion and experiences as leaders and entrepreneurs. If we cannot express the 5 factors with clarity, using words and expressions that others understand, we need to go back to listening. The seeing exercise, Meaning Making in the Group, introduces you to listening to the story of vision in the conversations of the members of your organization. Finally, the story of vision must be shared among all members of the group. It must be a common understanding that replaces individual stories. We know the words, but the forms we use to tell the story of vision are also important. The forms and frequency that we use determine if the vision is thought of at the right moment by the members of the group. Like words, ideas, and expressions, these forms must also be those that the listener understands, not what is comfortable or familiar to us. The story must be told often enough to be available when each member is making decisions about the quality of work they perform and the choices they make. This telling occurs when and how we point out the 5 factors. For example, we might make connections between individual tasks and a meaningful change in the world. We might talk about the value and worth of a product or service to the customer, or we might show the way that members depend on each other to combine individual tasks into a group's possibility. Each of these tells some portion of the 5 factors. The seeing exercise, Grand and Small Things, will help you think about and select forms of storytelling that are effective for your situation. These three common failures of the entrepreneur's vision of product illustrate an important concept in redefining leadership. Vision is a function of leadership. This means it occurs even without the influence of leaders. When leadership does not create a shared vision, then individual members create their own explanations for their work's plan and meaning. Members constantly make meaning, planning next steps, assessing their action against a standard of excellence, and finding ways to belong or not within the group. These individual stories contradict each other and prevent the group from aligning towards a single outcome. It is only when we as leaders provide a single shared story of vision that the members of the group are able to create an excellent product or service. Leadership is the unique role of guiding this function towards a shared group-focused expression of vision. This is the foundation upon which we build the next leadership function, relationships. Relationships describe how individual work is performed and combined to produce a single group output.